Okay, Lynn, so 45-minute lesson, 40 minutes wheels moving. If you can have me back here for about 12:30, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Laura. Okay, Nigel, can you remind me what our goal is for today's lesson?
Yeah, it was roundabouts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since picking you up this morning, just give me an idea of how you think you've gone on. In fact, just tell me the things that you thought was good about what you did this morning.
Well, I thought the mirrors and the signal was good, because obviously I'm used to doing them, yeah.
Yep. And what are the things then that you feel didn't go that good?
Yeah, it was the positioning on some of them. I didn't get over to the right far enough or soon enough, and of course then that impaired the judgment bit when I got to the end.
Okay, so I'll go along with that. In fact, that's quite good. So why do you think your position was a little bit too late?
Yeah, we did discuss that, didn't we?
Yes.
And it was probably because I wasn't doing it early enough.
Good. So if we could reflect on that, and we did it again, what would you do differently?
Well, I would get over a lot sooner.
Okay.
It's more like seeing the roundabout, isn't it? And preparing a lot earlier. That's what you said, yeah.
Okay, so if we did the roundabout now, we understand, I mean, you've fed back that you understand it in theory, so how would we apply that theory into practice? In other words, just talk me through what you'd do differently.
I'd just do it all a lot sooner.
Okay, so
And
you'd
slow down a lot more as well.
So we'd apply the MSM PSL a little
Yes.
bit sooner?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to apply that theory into practice. What help do you want from me?
Just maybe I'm all right with the mirrors and signal, but maybe talk me through a little bit nearer the end, if you would, for the first few.
So shall we say then, I think I'm hearing what you're saying, for the mirrors and the signal, we can be independent.
Yeah.
The position, the speed, the gears, and the end bit, a bit of prompt.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. The roundabout will be familiar, Nigel, because we did it this morning. All right, so it's nothing new. We did it this morning, so hopefully by the end of this session, we can achieve our goal. How
Yeah.
does that sound?
Great.
Is there anything that you want to ask me, Nigel, before we get going?
No.
Right, no. Chill out and enjoy, okay? Okay then, Nigel, do you think you've achieved your goal for today?
Yes, I do, yeah.
And if I asked you to scale yourself on 1 to 10, what would you scale yourself?
Probably 7, I think.
7?
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is why 7?
Well, I think I've got better, definitely got better.
I'll go along with that.
But there was a couple of times when I was turning right, wasn't there? The positioning, you had to tell me to get a little bit further over.
Okay, do you remember why we explained about that? Why did you have to get into position a bit sooner?
It's because of the traffic coming round on the
Good.
left, wasn't it?
Okay,
I was a bit reluctant to get right over towards the island.
Okay, so rewind. You're going to do that differently. What would you do differently next time?
I would just be more conscious of where I need the position to be,
Okay.
so that other vehicles going round can pass on the left.
Okay, well, I think we should work with that. Okay, you tell me what you want to do for your goals for next week.
I'd like to get more confident with the roundabouts,
Okay.
and do busier roundabouts with more lanes, hopefully.
All right. I've got some handouts that may help with that, Nigel, so I'll send you those handouts, and that's what we'll work towards for next week then. If you change your mind in the meantime, it's no big deal, but we'll work with goals, roundabouts for next week. All right?
Yeah, lovely.
And thank you for today. Thank you. At the end of the session, we use client-centred learning to help the pupil reflect on their performance. Scaling is a good technique. It allows them to analyse the good bits of their performance and the bad bits and the things that they could do differently. And the things that they could do differently generally are the goals for the next session. And we look at those goals, whether they're achievable and measurable, and that's what we work on for the next session. And that's it, really. Okay, has the lesson changed? In essence, the only thing that has changed is the duration. As you know, the wheels are now turning for 40 minutes with the pre-brief and at the end of the lesson, approximately 5 minutes. In truth, the lesson actually began when you pick your pupil up. And when you pick your pupil up, you would have discussed the goals of the lesson, managing risk, who was going to be responsible for whatever you had decided. So when we talk about the continue of the lesson, which is basically the beginning of the standards check in part 3, in essence, all you're doing is reaffirming what those goals were, if they still are the goals, and what help does the pupil, based on the lesson that you had, what help does the pupil want from you? Has that changed? And therefore the lesson just continues having thought about those risks and responsibilities.